Okay, so far we only used public functions. But there are also private, external, and internal functions. Declaring a function as public means anyone outside can call this function, plus you can call this function inside the contract as well. And with outside, here we mean anyone interacting with the Ethereum network can call this. Private means you can call it only inside the contract. External means you can only call it from the outside. And internal is just like private, except inherited contracts can also call such functions. We'll look at inheritance later in the course, so don't worry about internal for now. So what does that look like in our example? So here's our contract from before. Now, looking at the payMeBackLess function, we are not calling this function inside our contract anywhere. So it's actually safe to declare this as external. And now for the getRandomNumber function, we could also declare it as private. It's a design decision. So for example, let's declare it as private here. And by the way, a convention in Solidity for private or internal functions is to name them with underscore, like this. Now payMeBackLess can still use it like before, but it prevents people from calling it from the outside. One common mistake that people make now is they assume because the getRandomNumber function is private that nobody can see what the function actually returns. This is not true. When you declare a function as private, it only makes it harder for someone on the outside to read this data. If the function is public or external, then it's part of the application binary interface, the ABI. And then reading the data is very easy by just calling the function. If it's private, then it's not part of the ABI anymore. So you cannot call the function to read it. But the data is still stored somewhere. So then it becomes a little bit more complicated how to access the data. And we don't have to go that deep into this now, but just know that the data can still be accessed. The only thing it makes impossible is if we had a second contract that was trying to read this value, because a contract can only read data using the ABI.